Hey guys, good evening, and welcome to Motivational Monday. I'm your girl, Jackie O, and today is September the 20th. Can y'all believe it? We are already almost at the end of the year, September the 20th. So welcome to Motivational Monday, where our special guest is Jacquie Campos. We're going to be talking about all things branding, and y'all, we cannot wait. Motivational Monday, it is a space that we have created for women, and we talk to women from all over, all backgrounds. They're experts in their fields, and after you get through hearing their story or their tips or whatever information that they have for you, you will be called to what? To action, to action. So we are super excited again for Jacquie being with us on tonight. And we want to also recognize our business sponsor. Our business sponsor is Maria Howell. She is sponsoring tonight's show. Maria Howell, you all may have recognized her from the Oscar-nominated film, The Color Purple. She is the iconic soloist that played that in that role. And she has been in so many other movies, and she's a jazz singer. She has been in the entertainment industry for over 35 years. And so she has a merchandise line now. It's called Merch with a Message. And everything that she has, it is what do you call it? Inspired by scriptures and by life lessons. So thank you so much, Maria Howell, for being our business sponsor on tonight. You guys, please be sure to shop her merchandise at www.mariahowell.com. So are y'all ready now for our guest? Yes, we are ready to see and receive and to hear none other than the fabulous Jacquie Campos. Hey, Jessica. Welcome to the show.
I'm so pumped. I mean, this is just amazing. Thank you so much. Your energy is so amazing.
Thank you so much. Listen, you have a lot of energy now, Jessica, because y'all, I don't know if y'all are following her, but let me tell you, her Instagram feed and her reels, and we're going to talk about that if you don't know what a reel is off the chain. So thank you again, Jessica, for being here, because, I mean, you are amazing. Your energy, just who you are, you're just absolutely amazing. So we're going to hop right in and go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
Right on. Well, thank you again for having me. One very important disclaimer is that this is real. This is authentic. You're getting me in my house, and that means that kids might, interrupt, dogs might bark, and I'm actually might spray a bug. We realize that might bring some, reality and real talk to Motivational Monday, which is, I hope I have your permission to be real.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and again, thank you for having me. Long story short, my accent is from Puerto Rico, and I consider myself the recovered attorney. I don't divorce people anymore. I don't put people into bankruptcy anymore. Thank you, Jesus. And that's because, I wasn't planning for that, right? Like right now I laugh and we see this process, which is one of the lessons I teach. Your challenge and your obstacle is your way. Maybe you don't see it right now, but it will be. To me, it happened when the recession back in 2008. I don't know if you remember when the mortgage crisis came. And to be honest, I still say it and I guess I get like goosebumps.
Oh, wow.
It was a very traumatic experience. I lost everything. And I remember at the time I had just gotten remarried after being a single mom. And, sometimes you're like, finally, this is my happily, ending story, and so happy. And, in one area of my life, I was succeeding, but then my career took a big hit and I needed to move out of my country. When you move out and you need to start from zero, that's not simple. So that's how I found the world of the digital economy. And I fall in love with the idea of being able to, I would say, advocate and spread your mission without any ceiling. Because even though, Jackie, when I was considering my options, I did the calculation, and still, if I wanted to be a lawyer, I would have to take the bar exam. I would have to keep up with my license in every state that I would move. And it's just like, well, if I had the chance to restart, why would I put myself into a corner? If
Yeah.
I can bring my advocacy, and if I can advocate for other people. I remember, like, when I was just praying and asking for guidance, that was a vision that I was given. It's
Yeah.
like, don't get into a corner, don't have that ceiling, there's no reason. And I'm glad that I was able to find the resources and the support and the community. Another
Mhm.
reason why I believe so much in the sisterhood, in the power of community, in the networking, to the point that I give back. So I would say, fast forwarding to now, thanks to my opportunity to discover the online marketing world at such an early stages, when
Mhm.
people were thinking about what was Facebook,
Mhm.
I've been able to climb that ladder and claim my brand authority, which is one of the things I teach. I started writing, learning a ton. And to this day, I can do a website, I can do graphic design, I can do email marketing, I can build funnels and all of those things, because I had to do all of those. Back in those days, there was no education. So
Mhm.
when I reached a level of success where I consider I replaced my attorney income and my husband stopped bothering me, because at the beginning, nobody understands and they make fun of you because they just don't understand what you do. But when we were finally to see a six-figure income from me taking selfies,
Mhm.
it's kind of a joke around that. But we put more seriousness into building a business from it. So I took the brand approach, and then I started like sharing content marketing, and then brands started approaching me. And then Instagram came to our worlds, and then it was like, wow. I mean, it's been a very interesting journey, and I feel like I graduated from the mom solopreneur to
Mhm.
finally being acquired by another agency, and now we have a partnership, and
Mhm.
now it's mind blowing. We have an office here in Austin with a team, and we talk about things like payroll. It's a little bit scary, but I'm living that other phase after the solopreneur, to take my brand into multiple streams of income, which is what I recommend to everybody. It's
Mhm.
just like, why not? And that's
Exactly.
my story. That's my story. 4 kids, married. I believe that keeping my marriage, we are going into year 15 now.
Oh, wow.
It's one of my biggest accomplishments, because it's not easy, right? Like, when you want to be a mom, you have that guilt, which is science proven, right? Like, a lot of women suffer from that. So finding that sweet spot where you can feel that you're fulfilling your goals, and then still being a wife without resentment, without feeling like you are, not doing enough.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of my biggest accomplishments.
Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. And you know what, Jessica, as you were talking about that and the branding, and we're definitely going to get into that. And
Yeah.
welcome everyone that has joined us. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yes, we're seeing the comments and the waves. Thank you all so much for tuning in. So if y'all have questions, be sure you put them in the comment section. And then Jessica is also, you will be available afterwards. We'll be talking about that, how y'all can get in contact with her. But with the branding, okay, so you're no longer an attorney or practicing, a practicing attorney. And so now you are a forensic marketing branding strategist, like you are the bomb.diggity.com. And so you talked about that branding. Tell us branding one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what is branding and how important is branding for your business?
All right. So very, very important, that question. And thank you for asking that, because when you were going to say who I am, I was like, oh gosh, let's see what she's going to say. Because this is the perfect example to explain what brand is. A brand is what people say about you. when you're not telling them what they need to say. So whatever Jacquie perceives that I am, that is the brand. So a brand, when we say you are branded, there's really not that much that you can control except for being very clear about what you want people to know you for.
Okay.
So brand is what people say about you. These days, because we have so many distractions and we get bombarded in many channels, we have to be very intentional with the way that we conduct our method into branding, which is kind of like putting your intentions of how do I want people to know me for, matching with the activities that you will do to kind of peddle that message. And that's why we're now moving into niche marketing and being very, very specific so that when you see me, you see she talks about reels. And that's one thing that you need to remember. Like when I think about Jacquie, I think about your project. And I know it's women, right? So it's kind of like people think about keywords. So you have to be very mindful. And again, branding 101 is just remember what you want people to know about you. And you cannot give them more than one thing because they won't able to remember, and be very intentional with everything that you do. Your website, your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikTok, and just make it about just one thing. Once they know you for, then you can just go to another thing. You know, Amazon started as a website selling used books.
Yeah.
One thing. Just one thing. Once you are famous, then you can go and talk about everything else. You have to be very intentional these days. Now, I think people confuse branding with the colors, the logo, and they don't really pay attention to, you know, who they are. And that's why when they go and try to, you know, tell others, right, like introductions, you know, the elevator pitch, networking, you really need to be mindful and try to say what you do in just one sentence. You know, I help people that need blank so that they can live a life blank. And that's it.
Right. That's good. That's good. And that was a comment that I see that someone put that said, so a brand is different from a logo.
Yes. 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 Because brand, you know, brand is the kind of like the theory. Branding is completely different. That's why we see like a graphic designer work with a branding coach, with a branding agency, right? The designer will take those instructions from the brand strategies. Like for example, I'm not a designer, but I have the vision for it. And for us to create the vision, we go deeper into what's out there. We have to be careful. And very often, especially entrepreneurs who try to kind of like learn on their own and do things on their own, careful with that. And I'm glad that you're here because you're going to be learning this. Don't make the mistake of making the brand about what you like. You need to understand that people are going to be searching and they have a specific idea when they are actually expecting, like they have expectations, right? So it's really, really important. Like sometimes I think in the coaching industry, we see so many people branding themselves with names that people will never search. They don't know that that exists. So yeah, it's really important. Any other questions that we have? I love.
Yeah, no, that was the only comment so far. And so that's really good. And when you said that, oh, I heard your dog. So y'all, tonight, if you just joined us, Jessica was saying that we are going to be very authentic, y'all, tonight. So y'all may hear the dogs, you may hear the kids, you might see a fly buzzing around, there's some spray, but hey, you know, that's how we do it here. This is real life issues, real life things that are happening. But so when you said to concentrate on one thing and that you're branding yourself, so I'm going to use myself as an example. So I do for women, everything is motivating women. However, I have a product line that I have incorporated in with motivating and help transforming women, right? So say I'm giving you that as an example, me as an example, because there are so many other people that probably do the same thing. So with that being said, should we only do that one thing at a time, like master motivating women, or can you incorporate those things together?
Yeah, so there's definitely when you talk about one thing, so people recognize you. And it's really important that when we say women, which women? Like, who is it? Do you want to empower a woman that is, you know, a young woman, or do you want to empower a woman that is a mature woman? What is the demographic? And most importantly, what are they suffering from? Like, what is the transformation that they're seeking? Are they feeling, you know, why are they unmotivated? Are they going to a new chapter in life? Did they suffer from a particular loss? And pay attention to your own story. If you had a transformational story, you can leverage that. And that's the way that you break or launch your brand. You leverage the power of your story. There's actually a TikToker. Her name is Kenya. I can share you the link. It's really hard for me to pronounce it, but she actually went viral sharing her divorce story. And it was so creative, saying that, not elaborated at all, very real. She went viral to the point that now she, as a motivational speaker, the only thing that she uses mostly is just TikTok. But, you know, like if you share a story that goes, you know, shocking, and people start talking about it, you know, then that's how you can leverage that episode of your life and just stretch that as much as you can.
Okay. And so that goes into my next question with, oh, someone said, wow. Yes. Wow. Wow, as in, yes, we didn't know this. This is some good information.
Well, my homework for everybody that is watching is, can you refine your niche by thinking, okay, who do I want to help? Like, you know, if I put myself on this mission, and like, how do I really want to make an impact? Who do I want to help? And the second question is, in which group I feel really confident? You see, because imposter syndrome is very, very real.
Yes.
And we need to kind of like have that validation. Even if people tell us that we're amazing and all that, we all suffer from imposter syndrome. So the more accolades you can have so that you can feel that, okay, got this, you know, the better. So that's why we recommend having that niche, so that you have a relatable story, you can speak their language, you can have some ways to connect with them that is beyond what they can receive from you. Because anybody, you know, might be able to do what you do, but only you can do it your way. And maybe your way is the way that they feel that is the best.
So basically what you're saying is that each individual person has a story, and that really is going to be their niche, and, you know, with branding. And then that goes into branding, positioning yourself, because that was going to be my next question. So we are positioning ourselves. Brand positioning is basically just positioning yourself into that niche that you're talking about, to be able to reach people on the platform that you're trying to do, your target audience, correct?
Yes. And I'm glad you say that. Brand positioning, I call this, you know, brand visibility. It's almost like it's so crowded that you need to find a way to stand out from the crowd. I tell you one very, very inspirational story that goes into like really just that simple and that one product. You know, first opportunity I had to work with a brand, I was actually, without even knowing, I was recruited to launch the Hispanic market for Beachbody. Today, Beachbody, it's $1 billion brand, and everybody knows about it. Probably everybody knows somebody that is a coach. You know, back in the days, that was not the case. In fact, that's why, you know, I collaborated with them when they were no brand in the Hispanic market. And they only had one product. And to this day, that company, $1 billion business, it's just one main product. It's a shake, just one. They refuse to keep adding stuff. They don't really add too much. Now, the second company that I work with, in this one, I help more with not the branding, because it's so simple. Wait until I tell you what that is. I help with their social media and positioning themselves, but using more amplification, which is once you know that people need your services and you have mastered that process of saying what you do and them saying, I need that right now. Like when you master that sweet spot of targeting your audience, you do then amplification, which is like, this is when marketing can be a numbers game. Okay. But until you don't have a proven concept, it's not recommended that you do so much, because you can waste a lot of money. So this company went from $300,000 a year to almost 3 million in this year by just selling one thing. It's actually writing books. It's actually like books teaching parents that are homeschooling how to teach their kids how to write. Just one thing. Just one thing. Just think about that. You know, when we see businesses that they have broken the millions, it's not that they have done so much, is that they have been very niche, very focused. They got known by people, and social media and even like the websites to some extent, they work as word of mouth, because when you know of somebody, you know, you have conversations with your friends. That's what we call the silent engagement, which everybody, you know, kind of like, I think, ignores. You know, you might have 2 likes in the post, but you know what? These 2 people are talking about you, and then you get a referral from it. Yeah. So yes, super powerful.
Yeah, that is so true. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Someone said exactly as you were talking, using the hands in your card. Okay. Yes. Using what you have. So we've talked about that with the branding and the positioning and the difference between a brand strategist and branding itself. Tell us how important it is for us to have a branding coach.
Yes. You know, my favorite way to say it is to start by clarifying, what does strategy mean? Strategy actually is a concept that was coined during the war, when the sergeants needed to lead and to create a plan. It needed to be strategic because they must secure a win. So just remember that. Whenever you have limited resources, because let me tell you, I have worked with clients that they have endless budgets and we can be very creative, but that is not the case for everybody, correct? So when you have limited resources, including time, you need to be very careful. And that is considered to be strategic. So you need to do the assessment of where are the avenues. It's like when you ask Google for the map and then they give you the best route. So a brand strategist will see the map, will see the routes, and will be able to tell you, okay, if you go to here, this is what's going to happen. And this is most likely how you're going to get to this place. But we can also do this route. And this means this, and that. So we work a lot with roadmaps, with blueprints, and we use a lot of softwares that can help us to see what typically you will not see, maybe because you don't know about it. I am in love with Google marketing and search engines because these days I feel this is a little bit unfair. Okay. I'm not necessarily favoring this because it is what it is, but it is unfair. Today, if you are Google famous, people assume that you are great. And I think that's unfair, because what we also need to know is that anybody that knows how to do this can be Google famous. And that's how we get a lot of deceiving people, right? Because anybody can put a website, anybody can create fake reviews and things like that. And it's kind of a shame and it's kind of unfair, but you need to be mindful of that. So credibility today, it's all about online credibility. So I feel like it's really, really important to strategize around winning that space because it matters. You can be, the best, you can be writing the best book, you can create the best course, but if you don't have the traffic and the eyeballs, you will never sell it.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, right? Because, I have seen many amazing authors and creators with amazing content, but they don't get the visibility. They don't get the opportunity, right? And then you see somebody that is just flashing a picture and flashing something, and you're like, that's not good content. I can impact many lives, but, who gets into Google or who gets into Instagram these days is not kind of fair.
Yeah, that's really good. I never knew that. And going into that, that brings me into the question of, oh man, our time is winding down. Okay, this will be my last question. That unless we have, okay, I don't have see any in the comments. When you were talking about that, and I was thinking about engagement and how people engage with you, say on Instagram. And so a lot of times people are always saying, you need to have followers, followers, followers. You try to get all these followers. Well, people that have like thousands and thousands of followers, but they have no engagement. So, like how does that balance out? Should you be worried about having like all of these followers and them, they're not engaging, whether they're liking or purchasing your products or your services or something like that?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. And I think that it's important to recognize in which stage you are, right? Like if you are starting, if you're starting that brand recognition and you're building that social media profiles, yeah, it is important for you to have some sort of feedback from people, right? That's why we recommend to go as fast as you can and see if you can generate at least an audience of, I say always just 250 people as a baseline, right? If you can start with 250 people, which the secret for that is connect your contacts. If you're starting a new page, connect your cell phone connections and request them to follow you. They will do it because they know you. And then you know what happens? Instagram is going to suggest your page to their friends, just like Facebook does it. It's the same. It is the same. Now, when you are looking into going to the strangers and people who have no idea who you are, that's where you're risking it because they don't know you and you're not going to stand out as a page that has 10 followers, right? So the first goal should be gaining that credibility. And that will come from getting those connections, which will engage with you because they know you. You just need to know how to put the content that generates engagement. Make it about them. Actually, I have a full year of content. They can just copy and paste. And they're dedicated posts that can generate engagement, that can generate likes. And you will notice there that sometimes it is as simple and say and write in the caption, double tap if you agree with me. Engagement doesn't necessarily have to be that they need to write a very long caption.
Right.
It counts, even if it's just liking it or sharing it. But if you don't say it, they don't do it because they're not really paying too much attention, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's if they're starting, engagement doesn't really need to be as much as a priority as putting those numbers up. Gotcha. Once you have those numbers up, then you want to build relationships. And just take this as, I would say, 5 people at a time. If you can make 5 connections, even just one, once a week, that's powerful. That is powerful. I think that many people get too attached into those numbers, but they forget that, like I hosted a Reels challenge. And then actually a few of our students in 2 weeks, they reached more than 5,000 people. Wow. And they were like, do you think this is good? And I told them, ask actually a leader of a church if they can put together a group of 5,000 people in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Exactly. And speaking of that, and it's important too, that was going to be a question I had for you too, for churches to brand themselves. I mean, do you think that is important?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I am seeing that more and more and more. Especially, I would say, the key leaders leveraging the power of personal brand marketing. It's key. I have seen actually. I know a pastor that he comments on my post. He made sure that when I got sick, he just DM me. To me, that's powerful. That builds a connection that you cannot do any other way, right? So yes, I mean the opportunity is there, and those messages actually get a lot of viral opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Wow, Jessica, man, our time is up. It's up. But before you leave us with about 3 tips that you would like to leave us with branding, and tell us how to get in contact with you if you have some upcoming boot camps, courses. What do you have going on so that we can join in?
Sure, sure. So tip number one, please narrow what you do in one sentence. I help blank so that they can blank, period. So that's the takeaway number one. If you can answer that, I help blank so that they can blank, and be very specific. If you say woman, who, like which women, like women over what, women who are suffering from what, claim it, be very, very specific. Number two, if you are not taking Instagram marketing seriously, you have to. And by seriously, we mean posting very regularly, show up on a daily basis on your stories, show up at least every other day on feeds. And please, 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 you have to take the advantage, first movers advantage of being a Reels creator. Short content that creates curiosity. Curiosity sells, but you're not going to sell from that video. But that video, one thing that you need to know, like one takeaway really quick, is that Reels, unlike your post, they have the chance to be exposed to people who are not your connections. Right. That's how you get a lot of more views versus a post. So be there. And then the third tip, please, please, please honor where you are and be happy where you are. I would not be here today if I would not be very mindful around what happens on a daily basis, and not let the days when things are not going my way, I don't let my energy being dragged by that. Tomorrow's going to be another day. The same way with over celebrating, right? Give yourself the rule of 24 hours. 24 hours of let this go, whether that is, that you're down or you're too high, because that is going to, your GPS of your success, it's going to be rerouting the whole time, right? So don't get your GPS into rerouting. Find a way where you can get your vision and commit. Give your chance, give your vision at least 1 year. I promise you, you will grow.
Okay. All right. Did y'all get those 3 tips? I hope y'all did. I wrote them down. But number one, just repeat number one again. I want to make sure I have that. That's the one where
I help
blank.
Blank so that they can blank.
Okay. They can blank. All right. Y'all got that? All right. Okay. Great advice. Okay. The comments are coming in. Yes, they got it. Great advice. Okay. So
yes. I have a free course and where they can get the free year of content, download it, copy and paste, so that they can right away get engagement. It's the website mysocialgreatness.com.
mysocialgreatness.com. Okay, I'm going to put this also in the caption, but let me write this down: mysocialgreatness.com. And so they can download the content. And they're just copying and pasting their information.
Yes. And there's a series of videos where I, go over being strategic and why, and the method and all of that. And right now I'm currently hosting a Reels challenge. We call this our Instagram Growth Club. I am definitely excited about it. We're actually having our first call. We're going to be together for 8 weeks. Our first call is this Thursday. So it's super hot. So anybody who wants to try, to grow their brand and definitely grow Instagram, with reels. It's amazing, amazing,
Okay.
amazing.
Now, how do they get that information again? They go to your
Up
Instagram.
my social greatness. They're gonna see there's a
Oh,
banner there, and I'm sending all that information there.
okay, great. All right. Yeah, that's coming in. Good information. Sounds interesting. All right. So y'all,
Thank you.
heard it. You heard it. So y'all hop on to mysocialgreatness.com. Jessica, again, thank you so much for being here with us on tonight. Y'all, she has so much information, and we were trying to get it all in. So
You did good with great questions.
thank you. Yeah, so y'all, she is available, I'm sure. So if you reach out to her or her team, and they can help you guys, you know, maybe you can hire her, whatever it is, at whatever stage you're in.
I'm happy to help. I'm just glad to help. I mean, I really love connecting with people, and it's really my mission, especially solopreneurs who are on a mission to help others. I really believe that the more you give, the more you get. And Jacquie, we're back with Austin events. By the way, we have a group in Austin. Our events are up. Our next happy hour, it's going to be on October 7th. So if they're local and they want to meet people in person, we host a happy hour at the Hotel Grand Duca. We already have the dates for the rest of the year. So I'm super excited about it. You know, I just really love connecting with people as much as I love being behind the computer, but I kind of like need to teach people.
I know. And y'all listen, if you are in the Austin area, I have attended one of Jessica's events, and it was absolutely amazing. Made a lot of connections, met people. So if you are in the Austin area, October the 7th,
yes,
y'all check it out. You can also, I'm sure that's going to be on your website as well.
Yes, yes, we have that. We have that information.
And so y'all go on over there, get your ticket. Again, it's a really great event. Y'all will really have a really good time. So again, Jessica, thank you so much. And we also, again, we want to thank our sponsor. Our sponsor, our business sponsor, actually is Maria Howell. And Maria Howell, let me add her. There we go. She has merch with a message. And so she is our business sponsor for tonight, and all of her merchandise is inspired by scriptures and life lessons. And you can find her and from her merchandise at www.mariahowell, that's HOWELL.com. Maria, y'all have probably seen her around. Again, she is the iconic soloist in the Oscar-nominated film, The Color Purple. She was the one singing, God is trying to tell you something.
Nice.
Y'all have probably seen her in so many other movies. The Blind Side, let's see, Daddy's Little Girls, Hidden Figures. Oh my goodness, the list is so long. She's been in many TV series. And so y'all support her by purchasing her merch with a message. She is our business sponsor on tonight. So thank you, Maria, for sponsoring tonight's show, Maria. And so guys, we will see you all on next week. Next week, we have an amazing, I mean, every woman that's on here is amazing. I know y'all are probably like, they're amazing. You always say amazing, but they are. They're like phenomenal. They're amazing. I love them, their energy. So we will have Ellen Curry Wilson. Ellen, she is a native Texan. However, she's not living here at the present moment, but she is all about voting and voters' rights. And so we're going to be talking about voting next week. We're going to be doing something a little different. We haven't done politics and stuff before, so we're venturing into, you know, some new waters. But we think that this is going to be a really great topic to talk about. And she is an advocate, especially for young people getting out and voting. And I actually met her during the election at the Domain. She was walking around and she was like, have you voted yet? I'm like, oh, honey, yes. And so she was trying to get people to the polls. And she was all the way, actually, she's from Idaho. That's where she's living. And she came here to help with voting because this is her home state. So anyways, Ellen is going to be our guest next week. And so guys, until next week, we pray that you have an amazing rest of your week. And thank you so much to everyone that joined on tonight. We will be putting this information in the caption a little bit later tonight. And again, Jessica, thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.